Okay, it's Sunday night. Coach Michael Burt. I hope you had a great weekend. We have been celebrating Little Unit's birthdays today with Ella Grace's birthday coming up, and Emmeline Rose had a 2-year-old birthday today. So, happy Sunday to you. Woo! Just pulled out a notebook, man. It's popping. Sunday night, I like to come to you on Sunday nights and have some prep work. And the prep work gets you into the mindset. See, I believe we live in mental creation on the weekend, and we move from mental creation into physical action through the week. Okay, so just remember, this is a big part of doing anything big, is we go there in the mind before we go there in the body. All things are created twice, first mentally, then physically. Okay, this week in my coaching programs, I'm teaching people how to find their NBO, their next big opportunity. So tonight, I'm just going to break down briefly for you, and all of these go to my YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe so you can get updates. All my morning messages go to my YouTube channel, and then I'm doing podcasts under America's Coach every week. I got conferences, in-person events. I'll be in Dallas Friday and Saturday of this week. I've got coaching sessions this week at the Greatness Factory, so we're going to have a great week. What's up, Melissa? Good to see everybody tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about, I mentioned the NBO, and I got this concept. It came to me during church today because a few weeks ago I was coaching a guy named Chad Peterson, who's one of the top business brokers, and he talked about the next larger business. He called it the NLB, right? There's the Major League Baseball, and he called it the NLB, the next larger business. And if you were tired of a big business, you wanted your NSB, which is your next smaller business. And during church today, I thought about what people need is the NBO, their next big opportunity. And when I think about your next big opportunity, I think, how does one find their next big opportunity? Or how does one experience a quantum leap in the business? Okay? So when you think about this, I want you to think of a quantum leap as a significant jump. He would have called that a liquidity event. He said, man, you never have, John Hart, you never have serious wealth unless you have a liquidity event. And a liquidity event is where you sell something and you take home some cash, a big amount of cash, and you use that cash to go make a bigger investment. And in his world, he would call it, go get you an NLB. What I'm talking about is the NOB. Okay? NBO, next big opportunity. And what I'm saying here is, okay, for you to experience a quantum leap in life, I want you to go back to a time in your life when you experience a quantum leap. If you ever study Brock, if you ever study Price Pritchett, I may have a meeting with him in Dallas, Texas this Friday. Price Pritchett, who wrote U Squared. If you ever study Price Pritchett, he wrote a book called U Squared. He got into quantum thinking, and quantum thinking is significant jumps that are effortless and easy, right? Like a quantum jump, it's like particles jump easily. And he called those quantum leaps, right, Jana? So when you think about this, these quantum leaps in a business, it got me thinking, okay, how do you have a quantum leap in a business? How do you find your NBO, your next big opportunity? And typically quantum leaps come through a person. Okay, they come through a relationship with a person. And I started going back in my life, and I started going, okay, when did I go from 50,000 to 500,000? What happened there? Most of it was because 2 or 3 or 4 key relationships that introduced me to big corporate opportunities where I went and was the coach, and I was signing $100,000, $150,000 coaching contracts. Right? And I jumped from 50,000 as a high school basketball coach to 500,000 in my first couple years, really, of running my business. And then I got into strategic coach, and I got exposed to Dan Sullivan's thought patterns, and everything Sullivan had was 10x, and 10x made me think bigger. And it's like, okay, how do you go from 500,000 to 5 million? Okay, so typically in life, we experience a quantum leap because the brain gets up and focuses on low-value activity. I call it keeping the trains running. The trains, Daniel Hodges, what happens is the brain is lazy, so it just gets up and it's kind of caught in this trap. It gets up and it does the same things over and over and over. And the business gets to a set point. And the set point is like, man, how do I break out of this freaking prison that I've created for myself? And then somebody walks into your life, something walks into your life, and it's like, okay, they open a door. They introduce you to a strategy. I was sending a message to a guy tonight that saw me speak on the cruise, and his wife wants to be coach, but he doesn't want to. It's like, what can Coach Burt do for me? Coach Burt could change everything for you. Coach Burt brings a strategy. Coach Burt brings a methodology. Coach Burt brings a history of being a game changer for people over 30-something years, right? So the way we find this NBO, this next big opportunity, Anthony Starks, is we typically, somebody walks into our life and they expose us to a new strategy. They introduce us to a new connection, right? All of my big relationships in real estate, mortgage, insurance, multi-level marketing, all of them came through one relationship, right? A key relationship with an influential person. And that influential person said, hey man, right? I want Coach Burt working with all of our people, whether it be 10,000 people or 6,000 people or 500 people. And so when you think about it, Blake, the quantum leap always happens as a result of one of two things. You see something, that's exposure. I talk about that in the book, Flip the Switch, right? When I was in strategic coach and everything's 10X, we're thinking about 10X and everything. When I spoke at 10X through a relationship, what that does is it opens doors and it puts you in front of thousands of people. And so when you hear me say you don't need more money, you need more people, the people have the money, you got to go through large numbers of people to find your blue marlins. And the blue marlins lead you to your NBO, your next big opportunity. Now, you could target these blue marlins and try to get in front of them, Sterling Stokes, and you could try to make your case to them, and that could work. But in my life, that's not how it's happened. I went out and I just chop wood and carry water and speak, right? First big contract I ever signed, or first couple of big contracts I ever signed, I spoke for free, or maybe $500 at the most. And somebody saw me and they were an influential person and they led me to my NBO, my next big opportunity. It didn't come because I sought it out. It came because I got in the game. Okay, so the next big opportunity, your level 10 opportunity, a seat at a bigger table, Timothy, typically comes through being in a room with somebody, getting exposed to a new thought pattern, right? And then practicing what you see them do. So it's going to come through a relationship with a level 10 person, or what we call a blue marlin. And that blue marlin's going to open a door for you. Okay, it's gonna open a door for you that you didn't even know existed. I'm taking some meetings this week, guys, at the Greatness Factory of things and strategies and people that I didn't even know existed a couple of weeks ago. I really didn't. And these people saw me speak and they go, he can be an asset to us. But if you've got a fixed mindset and you got a closed mindset, you never even get these opportunities because they just move on to somebody else. Okay, so the big question tonight is, why wouldn't you pursue your next big opportunity? One reason: you don't have enough boldness. You play not to lose versus which guarantees losing. You don't play to win. You don't get in a room with these people. You keep your brain just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over. It's exhausting because you're caught in a trap and you get back to the same set point, right? If I'm out there talking to you, then I should be coaching you. Because you're going to keep doing this. I tell people, man, we could have this talk today or we could have it 5 years from today. Until you get frustrated enough and get in a new room and get around somebody who knows it, then you're going to keep being frustrated. But you're not frustrated enough, because where there's no pain, there's no change, right? And you will literally just keep doing the same thing you're currently doing until you get so sick of it, or something enlightens you. That means to shine light on darkness. Enlightens you and goes, boom, this is an area that you can get better at. Now, the mistake a lot of people make is they focus on the positive and they try to sell you on potential, but people are not motivated by potential. Most people are motivated by pain. Where there's no pain, there's no change. Okay, so I want to encourage you this week. You're probably sitting on the fence on doing something, maybe coming to my conference. You need to get off the fence and you need to get exposed to something. Okay, I was speaking on this cruise. Every major earner on that cruise that spoke on stage all had a coach. That was the one thing they all had in common. The people who were sitting in the audience, many of them didn't have a coach, which is why they were in the audience. and the major players were up on the stage because of who was coaching them, right? So if you're out there and I'm talking to you, there's all kinds of opportunities to get engaged. There's all kinds of opportunities. Go to CoachBurt.com. I'll be in Dallas this week, Dallas, Texas on Saturday. I'm doing a full day. I've got my conference coming up called Activate, which will activate something deep inside of you. In September, I do boot camps. I got podcasts. Like there's no way, there's more than enough opportunities if you want to pursue that MBO, which is your next big opportunity, if you're serious about pursuing it. And if you're not, just keep doing what you're doing until you get frustrated enough, and then you can give me a call, okay? And when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then we'll talk, okay? But you shouldn't have to get to that point, right? Quantum leaps happen through exposure to somebody new. Somebody walks into our life, or through a relationship with another person. Okay? As a growing, scaling business, how does one decide what and how much to invest in systems and process realignment? Well, I think that's why every week you need to sit down and decide, different people are going to give you different theories. You should be investing this much into your marketing, this much back into the reinvestment of the company, this much. And you got to decide if you're going to go, Amazon, reinvest everything back into the business, or you're going to invest, only you can make that decision. But it's like, okay, are we, in comparison to maybe our peers, are we underinvested? I look at some of the people I compete against, man, and I see what they're investing in marketing just to become known. Some of the people I compete against spend $1 million a month in marketing. Not a year, a month. My buddy Chuck McDowell invests like $500,000 a week on Facebook, right? But it works for him. So it's all relative to how hard you want to go with this, okay? So what I want you thinking tonight, and if you watch this on YouTube at a later point, is I want you thinking quantum leaps come through people. Either exposure to somebody or relationship with somebody that can introduce you to a lot of new people. So those are called feeder systems, okay? Next big opportunity, guys. I'm Coach Burt. Everybody needs a coach in life. You guys have a great night.